Hey, you like Minecraft, right? Of course you do. Who doesn't? I've shot people, gone to space, fought Bob, fought this ungodly creature, and of course nuked my homeworld. I've had my fair share of fun. Let me just reload the save game here. Oh my god. This is my first time covering a PC sandbox mod like this, so bear with me, this is a little bit experimental. I'm trying out some new stuff here, like I do with everything. But I also think this mod is an interesting thing to talk about. Trust me, with my upload rate, it needs to be something interesting to talk about, so stick with me here, it'll be alright. I'm actually not that big of a fan of Minecraft for the most part. Don't get me wrong, if that's your thing, absolutely own it. I've seen people make some crazy stuff with all the different mod packs out there, stuff I would love to learn how to make at some point. But usually if I have the option, I will always take vanilla Minecraft over mod because that usually gives me more opportunities to terrorize people without getting gunned down immediately. Who's that guy? Oh, it's me from another reality that has committed war crimes, gotcha. Now, I'm gonna twice contradict myself by saying one of my on and off games I've been entangled with as of late is a Minecraft mod pack. Goes by the name Texit 3.14, that is pi, never mind. If you happen to know what Techit and Hexit is, this mod attempts to fuse those two mod packs together. Now, I like this stuff because it keeps the Minecraft fundamentals but also gives me a whirlwind of surprises that freaks me out. For example, let's talk about the Battle Tower Golem. This guy is crazy. He just stands there. Okay, so 250 health, let's do some calculations here. The likelihood of this guy pummeling me to death is incredibly high, and he's also abnormally tall. So combining all those factors, I give this a solid rating of do not want to fight. But wait, hold on a second, I have this long shot, it can hook mobs and stuff like that. What if I use this on the golem? Let's give this a shot. Listen, it was a bold strategy, just didn't have it to pay off this time. Outside of that particular experience, one of the other mods built into this mod pack, I believe on the Hexit side of things, is a mod that goes by Dimensional Doors, curated by Dimensional Development, and initially created by Steven RS11. Ever wanted to have little pocket dimensions you could use for storage and experimenting with new ideas without dealing with the external effects of the outside world? Well, Dimensional Doors is for you, and it contains so much more. Because when your ender chest is full, throw it in the pocket dimension. That way you don't declare it on your taxes. Sounds like a grand old time, right? It is, but that's before we get to the process of actually making this door. We're talking default settings here. There is an option that lets you just change it to ender pearls, but there is no fun in that. We are here on an adventure. We are here to go to places we shouldn't be, because we need to grab ourselves some stabilized fabric. Now, how do we do that? Well, we need to find ourselves a pocket dungeon. How do we do that? Well, when you're in the overworld, you may come into contact with these structures. Step inside and welcome to hell. I'm sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. This is the second part of Dimensional Doors. These are the pocket dungeons you must traverse in order to get yourself some world thread. This is what is needed to make the stable fabric needed to make the door. And hey, here's a little word of advice. Do not trust a single fucking thing in this place. These dungeons are claustrophobic, they have lava pits, gaps in the fabric, levers that will straight up kill you if you pull the wrong one, tripwires that will pull the floor out from underneath you, and if you are really unlucky, you may come face to face with one of these guys. Welcome to Limbo. If you either die in the dungeon or get caught by one of these guys, these are called Monoliths by the way, you will end up at Y700 and you are falling down to this new dimension called Limbo. This will be your new personal hell for the next 15 to 30 minutes of your life. Get comfortable. So here's what you're supposed to do. So assuming you don't log out of the game immediately, you are supposed to jump down to the bottom of the world and attempt to find these pool things of eternal fabric. And as you can tell from the video right now, there is a lot of things going on here that makes that task a little bit more difficult than it may appear. Firstly, you can't see shit. I need the boost of contrast, but look at this, you cannot see anything. I was playing on my computer like this, it looked like I had a problem. At the very least, when you get to the eternal fabric, you can very much tell what it is. However, the problem is, you're never really told to jump this far down into the world. You're never told to look into these deep dark crevices to find this eternal fabric. But also to finish this 1-2 punch, you also have the Monoliths guys from earlier spread all around the map. And also, if these guys catch you, and it's more like when they catch you, you are sent back to Y700, giving you a lot of time to reflect on why you decided to walk into this portal. So let's roll it all back and think about the current situation. You probably fell down in here from something that was probably not your fault, get dropped down into something that's pretty much the shadow realm, and then you're not exactly told what you're supposed to do. Let me talk to you all about personal experience. So this was about a year ago. I was playing this mod pack for the first time. I was playing Texas. I remember dimensional doors from my childhood. I watched a Dan TDM video on it years ago. I remember the dungeons being sometimes a little bit dumb, but my brain completely forgot about limbo. So when I eventually died and fell down into this place, I pretty much took a defensive position 10 feet away from my computer and just watched as my character ended up getting teleported up in the sky and dropped down about 5 or 10 times. When I was able to actually manifest the courage to actually try to move around, I of course was completely lost at what exactly I was supposed to do here. After about 10 minutes, I just kinda gave up, assumed my world was a lost cause, and just started a whole new one. Can I talk about the monoliths now? Yeah, I can. Okay, sweet. These things are my worst nightmare. It's the tall factor. It's the fact that these are taller than you. Outside of like 3 exceptions, I think that's what really gets me the most in my Minecraft experience. If you really want to freak me out, make the thing taller than me. And also you have the fact that these things like to clump up sometimes, so you literally just have an image of like 10 of these things just straight staring at you and shaking, and me no likey. That was a good ramble session, right? This is actually an older version of the mod, by the way. This is from Minecraft version 1.12.2. I don't want to discredit any of the work done by Dimensional Development, specifically for covering an older version of the mod. And if I'm gonna be real with you, it's just because I like the monoliths. I say I like them, I actually freaking despise them, but it's out of love. In newer versions of the mod, not only did they update limbo so you can actually see where you're going, and that's because of the new generation they got going on up in here, but they pretty much threw the monoliths to the wayside and replaced them with just this eye creature. Which gets the same job done, but come on. Come on, tell me this thing ain't terrifying. Look at it. To me, Dimensional Doors is kind of like the antithesis of a lot of the Minecraft RPG and looting mods out there. In the same mod pack that I played, there's also Chocolate Quest, which one of the things that naturally spawns in that mod pack is this insane castle. This would take me like 3 hours to trek through. That's how big this place is. So because I have that juxtaposition, I kind of end up appreciating the simplicity of Dimensional Doors dungeons, no matter how cryptic and stupid they might be sometimes. I'm not necessarily saying these dungeons are better. Yeah, these definitely are better, but I love the concept. Bite-sized dungeons you can almost roguelike your way through. If you're a new player going in here for the first time, there's a good 80% chance you're going to swear off anything that has to deal with this mod after you die for the first time. Here's some forum posts to reinforce what I'm saying. I mean, look at that. That's a pretty strong statement. But if you do some due diligence, which you're going to probably need to do if you're playing Minecraft to begin with, you will realize at some point or another that it might be worthwhile to journey into the dimensional dungeon again to try to get yourself some world thread. Because God, let me tell you, the loot in here is not worth it. You're only here for your thread and the bounce. Because alongside the pocket dimensions, you can also make yourself some instant transportation portals. If you right click the ground for Rift Signature, that will store the location in the item. Right click it somewhere else, place a one-dimensional door, and boom, I just went 10,000 blocks in 0 seconds. I'm only a tiny bit nauseous. You can also make yourself a quartz dimensional door. After staring at the darkness for multiple hours, getting flashbang is an oddly cathartic experience. Quartz dimensional doors essentially act as a larger version of an ender chest. Nobody else besides me can get into this pocket dimension. Yeah, check out the sanctuary I built. I was feeling good that day. Serene stuff, right? Yeah, I gotta show you another fresh horror. Get ready. You see these particle effects right here? Bust out your textbook, you're gonna need to take some notes on this. Every block in the game is kind of like its own save file for a pocket dimension. You have no reason to do this, but in theory, you can make pocket dimension in a pocket dimension within a pocket dimension and so on and so forth, and you can pretty much keep on going until you hit a limit that you can change in the configuration. All the mods called dimensional doors. The doors themselves are not necessarily the pocket dimension, they're just the ways to get into the pocket dimension. If you end up breaking a dimensional door or summoning one of the naturally spawning portals, you're going to be summoning one of these. These things are called rifts. This is pretty much the mod telling you that there's a pocket dimension already summoned on that particular block. Here's where the fun begins. If you leave that rift without a door, it will slowly start growing. Which, if you don't keep an eye on it and don't ever contain it, you can sometimes get some pretty horrifying results. Like, check this out. This is why I left my computer on for 6 hours. Man, that was a bad decision. Which is the common theme with dimensional doors, you're never really told to seal these things up. Therefore, when you come across it again, your eyes start to water. Nice picture, dude. I love how you stood 50 blocks away. That's some good insight. There are like 3 different ways to deal with it. You can either make a wooden dimensional door, plop that down in front of the rift if you can find it. You can use a rift stabilizer just to stop the thing from growing, or you can get a rift remover and just remove the thing entirely, which is probably what you want to do. If you don't do anything, I guess it's best to keep some things a mystery. Yeah, sorry about that. I just got a report there's an Enderman infestation. Let's check this out. Oh my god. What the dude, this is more than the end dimension. What the hell are you doing? I think the reason why I'm so interested in talking about this mod today is because I think I love how it's almost like a two-faced project in a way. While one side is a legitimately useful utility, the other is almost complete nightmare fuel. And I also respect it for going this far with the concept. They could have stopped working on this project years ago. They could have stopped just giving you the pocket dimensions and calling it a day, no matter how jank the older versions used to be. And people would be fine with that. I would be fine with that. But I believe the people who override dimensional development gave this project an identity. It's a frightening identity for sure, but it stuck with people. It stuck with me. Limbo, specifically the 1.12 version, is one of the most well done terror experiences probably ever executed. Do I have my fair share of complaints? Obviously. But what I think is actually here is tremendously brilliant. I apologize if my writing isn't particularly strong here, horror is not really my forte, but I give props to Limbo not for being the over-the-top terrifying, but the more subtle, oh my god, what the hell is that? What do I do? What do I do? Do I run? Do I approach it? Why is it looking at me? Where am I? How do I get out? Why are these particle effects around me? It's not about exploiting any one of your individual senses, but rather throwing you into an active situation and making you have to think about how to resolve it. The design of the Monoliths and the design of Limbo does everything within its power to hinder you in trying to figure that out. And to a certain extent, this same philosophy also carries over to what's happening in the overworld with the rifts. That's where the true horror comes from. The question is though, should this be in a mod that at least most people are unsuspecting of when they first come across it in the overworld? Probably not. I think it's a bit of a conflict that Dimensional Doors developers seem to be kind of struggling with as of late. This is all speculation, this is just me taking some guesses here, but it seems like when they updated this mod to 1.17, one of the main things they were worried about was trying to diminish the power that Limbo had. From a strictly game design perspective, older Limbo sucks, and it's supposed to be like that. It's designed to waste your time, and that serves its purpose well if it's supposed to be a punishment for failing in the dimensional dungeon, except it was almost overly brutal. From the multiple times I ran through this place for this video, my shortest time getting out was around 5 minutes. My longest run took 45 minutes. I actually ended up starving to death in this place on one occasion. And keep in mind, this is when I knew what to do. You could easily waste up to an hour in here as a new player once you overcome the terror of probably a couple of these monoliths doing the 1,000-yard stare at you. Really, the question comes down to, does the punishment fit the crime? Does dying from something out of your control worth spending an average 20 minutes trying to get out of this nightmare factory with nothing else to supply you? Probably not, but I will once again say that the new version is too easy, and makes getting out almost trivial. The new monoliths, I'm sorry. You gotta actively try and get caught by these guys at the time. 30 seconds. If you know what you're doing, 30 seconds is how long it takes for you to get dropped down to new limbo and fight your way out because the entire volume is filled with eternal fluid. Same stuff as eternal fabric. Much like this entire mod's ordeal, there's a balance of pros and cons that need to be weighed. Should limbo be the most difficult thing that feels like you were crawling out the depths of hell, or should it just be a slap on the wrist because really with the way the dungeons are designed, 8 times out of 10 the player did not deserve to be here. Here's my suggestion. Maybe consider a deeper limbo. Have a separate pro outside of eternal fluid that lets you go down to a lower version of limbo that has the older monolith and has that design where it's kind of designed to screw you over a little bit, but this time the player kind of knows what they're getting into. Maybe you can find a new rift blade or something like that. Shoot, I just realized they mentioned the rift blade. It doesn't matter. Maybe you have some sort of risk reward type of mechanic down there. Maybe if you harvest a certain amount of fabric, you can make yourself like a super rift signature or something like that. Or maybe you can pick and choose what type of pocket dungeon you want when you create the rift initially. I don't know, I'm just throwing ideas at the wall. But I would love to see that happen though in some way. Or let's just say the surface stuff can be the naturally spawning Minecraft stuff, and then when you go further down you can get to the more unique things specific to dimensional doors. Although I just kind of tore into new limbo, I will give some credit to the new pocket dungeons, because this is some good stuff. Shout out to the eye room, the smile room, and the FNAF room. I didn't make that last one up, that's actually in the mod.
I just end up in 5 minutes of free.
I believe over time they try to move away from just trying to replicate the Minecraft stronghold look to more just making places designed to weird you out a little bit. Like, why is there a pumpkin in the wall? Why is there just a book in this blank room? Reindeer? Highway. There is a substantial improvement compared to the old 1.12.2 versions. There's a makeup for Limbo being truncated? Not for me, but I still think these are pretty cool, and I would feel bad not mentioning them at all. And hey, if you have your own ideas for a pocket dungeon, Dimensional Development is actually taking suggestions if you join their Discord server. I did some good old blue something Discord lurking, and it looks like they have a pretty nice community over there. So, I like dimensional doors. I know it's a tad bit harsh on them when I was talking about limbo because I know there's a lot of potential in that area that is just not being utilized at the moment, but regardless, it's incredible that a mod like this is still being maintained to this day. They didn't have to do this, but the people behind here are passionate and should be proud of the work that they have done. And I don't know what it is. It might just be that I'm in my own little Minecraft binge that proves my generation seems to be going through every 6 months. But this has been the most creative I've been in Minecraft in a good while. These were some of the little pocket dimensions I made when I was recording this video. They're supposed to be weird. They're supposed to be things that just don't fit in Minecraft. They're supposed to be a little bit bizarre. But you know, I have fun making them. And I don't know what it is. Whenever you step into a new pocket dimension, you get a really unique sensation. One where it's like, okay, I can do anything I want in here. I'll make the strangest and weirdest stuff I can possibly make. I encourage you to check out this mod, whether it be through a mod pack or individually. I have my gripes, but that shouldn't take away any of your interest, especially if you watch this video all the way to the end. And hey, while you're there, make sure to get a souvenir from Mr. Monolith, man. I love this guy. I apologize for stabbing you in the eyeball. Sauron does not even come close. My brother, I don't know what you are. So don't send me to limbo, pretty please, with a cherry on top. God damn it.